Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, I stand before you today to tell a story of a dangerous metamorphosis. It is the story of how a proscribed terrorist organization, banned in its own country, learned to speak the native language of Washington, D.C. Its grammar is lobbying, its vocabulary is faith, and its accent is pure, unadulterated deceit. At the center of this story is a firm that once operated in the quiet, powerful corridors of American politics. Moran Global Strategies, led by a former United States congressman, Jim Moran. This firm is now officially registered as a foreign agent for the so-called Biafra Republic Government in exile. Let us be clear. Nigerian courts have recognized this government for what it is: the external arm of the indigenous people of Biafra, a group declared a terrorist organization in 2017, a designation reaffirmed just last year by the Court of Appeal. Now, the public filing in Washington sounds benign, almost noble. It describes the contract as, and I quote, advocacy on human rights and political recognition. But this language is a carefully constructed veil. It conceals a brutal truth. Behind this careful wording lies a movement directly responsible for brutal attacks on civilians, on police officers, and on clergy across Nigeria's southeast. This is not diplomacy. This is deceit, performed not in camouflage, but in a three-piece suit. The stage is Washington, the audience is global, and the script is written in the ink of self-interest. The plot thickens. In October of last year, it was reported that Simon Ekpa, the self-styled prime minister of this phantom government, met with Senator Ted Cruz and other lawmakers. His mission? To promote the baseless claim of a Christian genocide in Nigeria. Neither Ekpa nor the senator's office has denied this account, and a parallel investigation confirmed that Moran's firm had been hired to drive this very same message through the halls of power. What began as lobbying now looks unmistakably like laundering. Consider the company Moran Global keeps. While on one hand representing American defense contractors like GE Aerospace and General Dynamics, firms entrusted with national security, this same firm also lists clients that include groups accused of violent insurgency in Eritrea and South Sudan. A firm trusted with the security of the United States now carries the brief of proscribed and armed groups. The moral contradiction could not be starker. It seems that in Washington, morality now bends like a weather vane. Whichever way the wind of profit blows, principle politely steps aside. And the evidence of violence is not just in Nigeria. Last May, a court in Finland convicted Simon Ekpa, a key voice in this very network, for terrorism offenses. He was found guilty of orchestrating attacks in Nigeria from the comfort of his base in Europe. The conviction proved what security agencies had long warned. The supposed government in exile is not a political movement. It is an operational arm of an organization that uses faith as camouflage and propaganda as its main export. So, we are left with urgent, unanswered questions. Moran Global Strategies must clarify. Does it continue to represent this network? And how does such work align with United States law, not to mention any semblance of corporate ethics? Senator Cruz's office must explain. Did these meetings occur? And what due diligence, if any, was carried out on the source of these incendiary claims? Until they do, the record stands. The filings, the court judgments, the public admissions, they remain unchallenged. A disturbing pattern has emerged. Insurgents and governments, rebels and corporations, all rent the same credibility under one roof. We are so often told that the world runs on rules, but it appears these rules change, depending on who breaks them, and more importantly, on where the victims live. Let me be blunt. If a United States senator had met with representatives of ISIS, Al-Qaeda, or Hamas under similar circumstances, that contact would be a scandal. It would almost certainly be investigated as material support for terrorism. But when it involves Africa, the same behavior is quietly rebranded. It is no longer terrorism. It is advocacy. This double standard is not just hypocrisy. It is a corrosive force that destroys trust. And it teaches extremists a dangerous lesson, that they can turn Western sympathy into a strategic weapon. Because when lobbying becomes laundering, when influence peddling becomes insurgency funding, then truth, faith, and reputation all burn in the same fire. The question for us today is this: who will stand up and call this what it is? Who will demand accountability? The time for silence is over. Thank you.